protecting it, so we couldn't wait to do that. You understand what I'm saying?
They fastened it with nails and with hammers that it moved not.
They fastened it with nails and hammers that it moved not. That's how you put that tree in your house, and you put it on that stand and fasten it down and nail it down and twist it and screw it down and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? It's all the same thing. It's all a custom and a culture of a nation that does not love us. You understand what I'm saying? And basically, in a nutshell, we basically are slaves to this nation. And I mean, think about it, right? What does our people get out of this nation? What do we get out of it? Broke. That's one thing. What else? Separated. Families broke up. Welfare. Food stamps. Public housing. Clogged arteries. Heart disease. Everything. Everything we get up out of this nation, we get the negative side out of this nation. We're straight slaves. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? The whole premise of tonight's Brotherhood class is, are you a slave? Because a lot of our brothers and sisters don't recognize that they slaves. You understand what I'm saying? Think about Thanksgiving. What was Thanksgiving?
The murder of the so-called American. I got a thing over there. The murder of the so-called American.
We celebrate it. We celebrate the murder of our brothers and sisters. You understand? We celebrate the decimation of how many was that? 55 million? 77 million? 77 million.
77 million.
77 million.
It's probably 100.
Yeah.
They're high. Very high when you hit the seat.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? Think about it. And what was the day after Thanksgiving? What's the day after Thanksgiving?
Black Friday.
There you go.
Black Friday.
What did they do on Black Friday? What was Black Friday?
Right. So I spent all of it. And then Monday.
I'm talking about historically.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Black Friday was when they get a discount off the slaves back in.
Exactly. And historically, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, they had a discount on slaves. You understand what I'm saying? That's why they called it. But think about this though, right? Look at what happens the day after Thanksgiving. What does Black Friday have to do with it? What does Black Friday have to do with what they're doing? Think about it.
That's just a slap in our face again.
It's a slap in the face. But us as so-called black people, we don't realize what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? So we get out and we break out next on Black Friday to buy everything at a discount, not realizing Black Friday's origin comes from them selling us at a discount the day after Thanksgiving. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's a smack in the face and a kick in the ass.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Not just a smack in the face, but a smack in the face and a kick in the ass. Because look at what goes on Black Friday. You understand what I'm saying?
Mayhem.
It's the same thing that they do with these Popeyes chicken sandwiches.
Jordan.
They got our people out there fighting in the street over chicken sandwiches. The same thing they're doing with Jordan. They got our people out there fighting in line over some Jordans. And the thing about it is, you fighting over the same Jordans that was out 10 years ago. You fighting over old sneakers.
Right.
They ain't even made nothing new.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's even worse. There's another slap in the face.
Right.
They got you fighting over something that was out 3 times before.
It's gonna come back out again.
You feel me? Check this out, right? Slavery started when?
1492.
1492 was when they took the first Taino Indians. They took 1,100 Taino Indians back over to Spain, right? And by the time they got over there, only 400 lived, and they called that a plus. Why did they call it a plus?
Because they got it for free.
Because they got it for free. Think about it, right? If you find $1 million and you lose 600,000 of it, and you still got 400,000, who cares? You understand what I'm saying? It's free. Ain't costing nothing. But they made millions. Think about it. Everything that's built in the United States today, right? Everything that the United States was built off of. Let's do this, right? We said slavery started in 1492, right? But the slavery in the Americas started when?
I know when you just said they took
1611, right? Started in 1611, and it was only in or indentured slavery, or you know, it was just you had to serve 7 years, and then you would be freed after 7 years.
Those was
right.
Those was the.
So then, the Pope of Rome realized that it was good in 1634, and he decided to make all people of color lifetime slaves. So in 1638, they came out with the doctrine of exclusion. So with the doctrine of exclusion, and I hold up, I got it right here for a minute. Hold on for a second. We're gonna go into this. Right? Slavery. Let me get back. Let's go here. All right, the doctrine of exclusion. All right, think about it. And it started here. It started here in Maryland, right? The doctrine of exclusion. It says the 1638 Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion. The Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion was collectively written by the Maryland Colony Council in 1638, and it states the following: neither the existing black population, right? That was the slaves that they had brought over here after the Pope said, "You got my stamp of approval on enslaving the colored people, so-called colored, so-called Negro," right? It says neither the existing black population, because remember, it was already blacks, it was already enslaved over here, right? But it was indentured slavery. It was just you had to serve for 7 years and then you was freed after that. So then they shut all of that down, right? So it says neither the existing black population, their descendants, which is me, you, and you, nor any other blacks shall be permitted to enjoy the fruits of white society. Somebody there? Oh, wow. Hey, grab the bucket right there. See, right here over here. Yeah. Sit that right up, right here. Pull out what's in there and put it under there. All right, let me get back. All right, let me start that back over. It says neither the existing black population, their descendants, nor any other black shall be permitted to enjoy the fruits of white society. Check this out. The doctrine was written to ensure that black, think about this, right? Get this in your head. Think about this. it says blacks will remain a subordinate. Our people are subordinate. You understand what I'm saying? A subordinate, non-competitive. Compete at over here for power. Where do we compete at? Yeah, where do we compete at?
Our neighborhoods, Brotherhood, and stuff.
No, where do we compete? But for power, where do we compete at? We don't. So what it's basically saying, we support it. You understand what I'm saying? And we non-competitive and a non-compensated workforce. Think about it, right? A non-compensated workforce is a person that's working for free. Think about this too, right? What do they do to our brothers? Over 2 million brothers. 2.217 million brothers incarcerated today. That's free labor. You understand what I'm saying? Non-compensated workforce. This was planned way back, and it still rides today. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people, a lot of our people, a lot of us don't see ourselves as being slaves. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of us, we look around and think we free. You understand what I'm saying? But you're truly not free. And think about it. Martin Luther King fought for what?
Integration.
Integration, but I'm looking for the other thing he fought for. The main focus of their fight.
Civil rights.
There you go. Civil rights. Right? But think about this, right? How can you ask for rights from a person that's not civil? How can you expect to get rights from a person that's not civil? Matter of fact, let's do this. How can you think you're gonna get rights from a person that doesn't even look at you as a person? So what does that take us to, right? What's our scripture? Psalms 55:21.
His words are smoother than butter.
His words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Pull that. Psalms 55:21. And at the same time, I'm gonna pull something else.
Psalm 55, you ready?
Somebody hold on for a second. I wrote a couple of things today, man. I found, you know, you find so much stuff that you start like, you can't figure out what to write. Go ahead, there you go.
Psalm 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Hey, listen, our oppressor can lull you to sleep with his words. He can hypnotize you with his words. Listen, this is how the serpent deceived Eve. His words were smoother than butter. And she believed in it. You understand what I'm saying? Eve sucked it up. This is the reason why the Most High put the man over the woman. Because he knew the woman was gullible enough to fall for our oppressor's words. The woman has a soft heart. You understand what I'm saying? And her heart allows her to be open for a lot of things. And a lot of things that her heart is open for can be dangerous to us. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the reason why the Most High placed the man over the woman. Go ahead.
But war was in his heart.
But war was in his heart. You understand what I'm saying? But war was in his heart. Our oppressor is out to destroy us. He has smooth words on his tongue, but a sword in his hand. You understand what I'm saying? He's gonna lull you to sleep and then cut your throat. This is what our oppressor does. You understand what I'm saying? Now check this out. This is the United States Constitution, right? And in the beginning of the Constitution, this is what it says. It says, "We the people of the United States." Listen to this. It says, "We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, Bam, stop. His words were smoother than butter. Listen to what he's saying, right? And this is where a lot of people get deceived, right? Because what does the beginning say? We the people. And when they let you see we the people, it makes you think you are included. You understand what I'm saying? But check this out. When you go down in the Constitution to Section 1, Article 2, what does it say? I'm gonna read it to you, right? And I'm gonna go down to the important part, right? It says representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union, right? According to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding to the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years. Now, what is that? That is indentured servitude or slavery, right? That's a slavery where you may owe somebody something. You don't have the money, so you say, I'm gonna work for a certain amount of time for you. And then once I finish that time, my time is up. You understand what I'm saying? So now, those bound to, I'm gonna start from there, those bound for a term of years, and excluding Indians not taxed, 3/5 of all other persons. That's us. That's us. You are excluded. The doctrine says what? Think about it. Right? Neither the existing black population, their descendants, nor any other blacks shall be permitted to enjoy the fruits of white society. They made sure, think about this, right? Every so often, they amend or make amendments, right? Or they add legislation, or they put acts, certain acts attached to legislations or amendments. You understand what I'm saying? If the law really included us, they wouldn't have to make amendments, they wouldn't have to do acts, they wouldn't have to do attachments to laws. You understand what I'm saying? Think about this. When it comes to the civil rights, or when it comes to the rights of white people, do they have to amend laws? Why don't they have to amend laws?
Because they've already included.
Because it's already a law. And if the law was for you, they wouldn't have to amend anything. They wouldn't have to give you civil rights. Civil rights has no meaning, because what is civil? What is civil? What is civil rights?
Civil. This is the Webster's Dictionary.
Go ahead.
First one is relating to citizens. I like relating.
Say it again. First one say what?
Relating to citizens.
One more time.
Relating to citizens.
Relating to citizens. You are not considered a citizen. You understand? When it says we the people means citizens. You are not considered a citizen. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not considered a citizen. His words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. All of these years, we always talk about, I want my constitutional rights. And the whole time, you had no constitutional rights. And let's think about it, right? That's by law. That's by law. You understand what I'm saying? Think about it. That's in the Constitution in Section 1, Article 2. in your constitution, in your so-called constitution. You understand what I'm saying? This man is a beast. And the thing about it, right, just like we said in the beginning, that's the fox side. Because he makes you think you are included when you're not. And instead of telling you that you're not a citizen, he keeps amending laws, making bills of rights and all of that. When none of that stuff overrides a law. Think about it, right? No amendment, no bills or nothing, none of that stuff overrides a law. In order for you to override a change that law. So they keep amending and making a bill, and we're going to pass this bill. We're going to take it through the House of Representatives, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And, well, it's going to take a couple of years. I mean, listen, as long as it's going through, you know. Hey, look, we're trying to help, right? We're trying to help, buddy. Hey, look, my hands are tied. That's how they do you. That's how they do you in court. Listen, check this out. Your attorney, the prosecuting attorney, and the judge have already written down what they're going to do to you before you walk in the door. You understand what I'm saying? Your life has already been written. You understand what I'm saying? So when you walk in the door, your attorney walk up to you and be like, look, I've been talking to the judge and I talked to the prosecuting attorney and we discussed this and we think this is the best option for you. And they ain't even included you. You understand what I'm saying? They telling you the best option for you and they ain't even included you. You understand what I'm saying? That's crazy. You know? Hey, give me Leviticus 20 and 26. Because check this out, right? We go through so much because what? We don't follow those laws, statutes, and commands. The Most High gave us a way out. You understand what I'm saying? He gave us a way out. All we had to do was follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Just follow the laws. He told us how to operate in a land that wasn't ours, and we out of our own land. He already told us. He told us what to eat, what not to eat. You understand what I'm saying? He told us how to interact with the heathen, how to interact with our brothers and sisters if we have a difference. He told us how to come and bring our differences to the forefront. You understand what I'm saying? He told us what to do and what not to do, but we choose to do what we want to do. And when we choose to do what we want to do, you fall into the hand of your captor. You understand what I'm saying? You fall into the hands of the heathen. You fall into the customs and cultures of another nation. This is why a lot of our people, a lot of us are bound by the customs and culture of this nation. You know, this is a modern day Babylon. This is a modern day Egypt. It's a modern day, matter of fact, even worse than that, this is a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. Look at all the homosexual laws and everything that they pass. Men can marry men, women can marry women. Matter of fact, was that in Great Britain where you can marry an animal now? It's crazy, huh? And that's European. This is all European custom and culture. And I guarantee you, right, in 10 years, I bet you it's going to be some of our brothers and sisters falling right into it. And then in another 40 years, they're going to make it seem like we started. You know? You got that?
Leviticus 20 and 26. And ye shall be holy unto me.
Say that again.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
And ye shall be holy unto me. Ye shall be holy. What does holy mean?
Separate.
Separate. Set apart. You know, Most High made us a holy people. He set us all these other nations. You understand? And when he sets us apart, what does he set us apart?
Oh, follow him.
Follow him, yeah, that's true,
Do what he
right?
wants to do to follow him to.
But it's a little,
Don't be with the heathen. Stay away from the heathen.
you halfway there when you said stay away from the heathen and.
Learn not to wear the heathen.
No.
Okay.
You stay away from the heathen, what do you have to do?
Separate yourselves from nation that black. Separate children.
But no, listen.
Gather yourselves.
There you go. Because if he separates us from them, then we have to be together. You understand what I'm saying? So it says what? It says, and ye shall be holy unto me. He set us apart from other nations to be together. You understand what I'm saying? So if he set us apart to be together. You understand? When you get into a disagreement with another family, right? Your family comes out, their family comes out, and they pull y'all apart, right? When they pull y'all apart, y'all separate. But you with what? You with your family, and he with his family. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you come together in a disagreement, your family separates y'all, and now y'all apart, but y'all with y'all family. You understand what I'm saying? This is what the Most High did. He separated us to be together. You understand what I'm saying? It almost sounds like an oxymoron, but it's not. You feel me? Go ahead.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
For I, the Lord, am holy. What is he saying?
He said, when I separate you, you stay with me. I'm separated from these other people. I'm separate from these other people, and you separate from one.
But more than that, he's separate from all these other gods, these other customs and cultures. You understand what I'm saying? He's separate from all of that stuff, so you should be separate from them. Their customs and culture. If I'm not with their gods and customs and culture, you shouldn't be with their gods and customs and culture. You understand? He's separated, he's separate, we separate. He's holy, we holy. You understand? But that's not the way we see it at times. Because we gotta celebrate that Thanksgiving. We gotta go out on that Black Friday. We gotta celebrate this Christmas. We gotta be out there on New Year's. You understand? That's what he's saying, separate yourself, because think about this, right? When I was young, right? It seemed like it was basically just 4 holidays. It was Christmas. Go ahead, Christmas.
New Year's, Thanksgiving, Easter.
There you go. You understand what I'm saying? It was just done for. It seems like it's a holiday all the damn time now. You understand what I'm saying? And Black Friday, I don't know where that shit popped up from. You understand what I'm saying? When did Black Friday start? That was something that started like, I don't even know. When did Black Friday start? Not this all. When did Black Friday start?
In slavery. Oh.
No, I'm saying like, when did Black Friday start? Because I can't remember when did it start. Who said the day after Thanksgiving will be Black Friday? Who started that?
You gotta go. You gotta have a time machine for that.
Who like, you know what? We're gonna start selling shit at half price. Let's call it Black Friday. Who did that? Of course, we know where they got it from, right?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like it's been going for forever, but I can't remember.
But you gotta think where did the white Santa Claus? So the white Santa Claus first hit probably in the 1940s.
Oh, stop. No. Come on, Black Friday. I don't remember Black Friday in the 80s. I don't remember Black Friday in the early 90s. Remember that?
It's been around.
You see what I'm saying?
Been around. It just wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
Do you remember it in the 80s and the 90s?
I mean,
I don't remember that. The day after Thanksgiving, man, I was slamming around.
it was always a Black Friday. Black Friday always been on the calendar forever. Stop. I'm telling you.
We have to find that out.
Okay.
We will have to find
It's
that
gonna
out.
blow your mind too.
It's already blowing my mind because I'm sitting here saying like, damn, when did it start? Because I only remember it in 2000, 2001, 2002. That's the first, I don't remember.
It's been around way longer
I
than
don't remember 99. I don't remember no Black Friday 99, 98. Anyway, let's go. Leave that in. All right, where we at?
Leviticus 14:26.
Go ahead, read.
And have severed you from other people.
He has severed you from other people. He has violently separated us. No, you can't be with them. I'm making this border right here. This is them. This is you. Severed us. Go ahead.
That you should be mine.
That you should be mine. Exactly. You know what I mean? We are the Most High. We are His possession. We are His holy people. He set us apart. You understand what I'm saying? He set us apart. Give me Psalm 147:19. He set us apart. Gave us the law, statutes, and commandments, and didn't give them to anybody else. They were just for us. You know? That should be an honor right there. Because he gave us and nobody else. He gave these law, statutes, and commandments to us. But because we don't follow these law, statutes, and commandments, this is the reason why today we are slaves. Think about this, right? Go ahead.
All right, say, like, who don't want to be a part of royalty?
Yeah, we don't want to be a part of royalty, but you know what? Think about this, right? The reason why a lot of people don't want to be a part of royalty because when somebody throws something, all right, I'm gonna do it like this, right? You take 4 people, you put them in a room, right?
Mm-hmm.
You take a plate with 4 pieces of chicken on it, and you give them a piece of chicken every day, right? 4 pieces of chicken, everybody got one, right?
Mm-hmm.
A week later, instead of 4 pieces of chicken on the plate, you take 2 pieces of chicken, put 2 pieces of chicken on the plate, right? Eventually, you get down to 1 piece of chicken on the plate, and you only give them 1 piece of chicken once a week to 4 people, right? What's going to happen?
They're going to be scrapped.
They're going to be fighting. You understand what I'm saying, Dr. Zoe? They're going to be fighting, right? So now, you place our people in the ghetto and you get robbed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you give them trinkets, right? And then all of a sudden, when you tell the truth right here, but they can get them this trinket and survive. Do you really think it's going to be easy for them to give that trinket up to find out that? You understand what I'm saying? It happens though, because we heard it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But it's hard. You understand? For deprived people. You understand what I'm saying? When you deprived, it's the most difficult thing in the world. You understand what I'm saying? You got that?
Psalms 147:19.
Yep.
Psalms 147:19. He showeth his word unto Jacob.
See that again?
He showeth his word unto Jacob.
What does that mean? Show his word unto Jacob.
Exactly what it said.
He showed his word unto Jacob. Who is Jacob?
Israel.
Israel?
Well, when he got his name changed to Israel.
Okay. That's it. Go ahead, read.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Read.
Psalms 147:20. He had not dealt so with any nation.
He had not dealt so with any nation. Listen, he did not give these laws, statutes, and commandments to any other nation. He has not dealt so with any nation. Listen, we're not saying he didn't create these other nations. He created all the nations, right? But he did not deal with the other nations. He dealt with us. He spoke to the nation of Israel. He spoke to the 12 tribes of Israel through his prophets, right? He gave us the law, statutes, and commandments, right? That means he dealt with us and no other nation. Read.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
And for his judgments, they have not known them. Listen. That's heavy right there, right? Listen to what that said. And for his judgments, they have not known them. How can they not know his judgments? Because they do not know his laws. You understand what I'm saying? Think about this thing that's going on with this President Trump thing, right? And this impeachment thing. You understand what I'm saying? We don't really care which way it goes. White man gonna do what the white man do. But the white man can sit and have laws and then sit and break his own laws, get taken to court and beat the courts over his own laws. You understand what I'm saying? The white man says he follows the laws of God, but does not follow the laws of God because the white man is a murderer, he is a killer, and he is a deceiver and a thief. This is just what the oppressor does. You understand what I'm saying? This is just what they do. You feel me?
Sure.
Now, I want to step up to slave laws, right? You got the slave laws. You can look this stuff up on your phone. That doctrine of exclusion of 1638. You can look that up on your phone. The doctrine of exclusion. 1638. And then they have a slave laws of 1662.
What's it?
1662.
Slave law?
Yeah.
Right.
So now, this is slave laws of 1662, right? And basically, I'm gonna read this right here. Black women are deemed tithable, taxable. Creating a distinction between African and English women. 1662. Blacks face the possibility of life servitude. That's being a slave for the rest of your life, which that's what they did. You understand what I'm saying? The General Assembly of Virginia decides that any child born to an enslaved woman will also be a slave. Think about what they're doing to our children today. Think about the children at the border. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure. I'm listening.
Think about the children coming from El Salvador, coming from Guatemala, Mexico, Chile, all of these countries coming up to this border. Families are being torn apart. Parents are being sent back to their country, and the children are being kept and held captive. Think about it. When you keep a kid or a child in a cage, that is keeping a child captive. You understand? That's a prisoner of war. When you violate people like that for no apparent reason, these are prisoners of war. This is a war act that they are committing. You understand what I'm saying? This is an act of war. But think about this. When the Russians bombed Syria, right? Or dropped those bombs on those Syrians, wasn't that when they killed those Syrians? Right? They tried to bring the Russians up in the United Nations on charges, right? Of doing what they did to the Syrians, right? So let me ask a question. Who bringing the United States up on charges of what they're doing to us? Nobody. Nobody. Not one nation. You understand what I'm saying? That shows you right there. That alone, like, think about all of the nations that are in the United Nations, right? Think about all of those nations and all of the nations that spoke up against what Russia did to those people, right?
Sure.
Think about how many nations speak up for other nations that are oppressed and that are being killed and murdered at will by other nations. And not one time does any nation stand up for us. So what does that tell you? That alone should let you know that we are a special people, set apart. All of those nations come together to fight for any other people but us. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Go ahead, read.
147 and 19.
I think you finished that, right?
The last sentence. Praise ye the Lord.
Yeah. Praise ye the Lord. Yeah.
147.
But I mean, think about it, right? I mean, think about the things that we go through in this country. A lot of people don't understand that they're slaves, right? But when it's time for a slave to eat, right? Who does he have to look at?
Oh, master.
Exactly.
That's what.
When he's looking for lodging, what does he have to do?
Master.
And he has to look for clothing, what does he do? He has to look for work, what does he do?
Master.
Understand what I'm saying? So now, let's come up to 2019. When you're hungry, who do you go to?
Government, same thing.
When you're looking for food, who do you go to?
Independent.
When you're looking for work, who do you go to? Think about this, right? You go to work for your oppressor to get money to give back to your oppressor. So basically, they got you. And then the thing about it is, think about gentrification. They move you from where you want to live to where you don't want to live. And then they put you in a hellhole. And they charge you $1 million to live in that hellhole. And because he can charge you what he wants to charge you wherever you go, you are forced to live in a particular area. And I'm not saying this for everybody, because think about this, right? They had to let one or two get out to make it look like it's not really slavery. Because what do they say?
He did it, you can do it.
Exactly. He did it, you can do it. His words are smoother than butter. But war is in his heart. He has a plan. You understand what I'm saying? Our oppressor has a plan. But the Most High gave us a plan. And what is that plan? Exactly. The law, statutes, and commandments. He gave us a way out. You understand what I'm saying? He gave us a way out. We just choose not to follow his laws. You understand what I'm saying? And then he puts us in a position. He puts us in a position to destroy our home. Now, I said this a couple of weeks ago, but I was listening to Bloomberg News, right? And Bloomberg News said that 70% of the American economy is built off the consumer. Who is the consumer? So, think about it. How many nations are consumers that are in the United States? How many of these nations? Now you have the Korean, the Chinese, the Japanese, East Indian, the African, and the Arab. How many out of all of those nations, how many of them are consumers? How many would you say?
I would say no.
How many would you say, not just all?
No.
Say that again.
How many you say?
I would say all of them.
You would say all of them?
They all consume, but we don't know what they consume, and they keep it to themselves. We consume, just keep it.
Listen, none of them are consumers. Think about this, right? Consumer only eats.
Consume.
A producer feeds. So you're either a producer or you're a consumer. You understand what I'm saying? When the East Indian comes over here, they're automatically given a Dunkin' Donuts and a gas station. They are producers. They are taking that money back to their community and building their community. The Chinese man comes over here, and build a Chinese store, food, and soul food. He's taking that money back to his community and building his community. You understand what I'm saying? The African, he comes over here, he finds a corner, and he sells all his bootleg stuff. And he's taking that back to his community. He gets a gas station, he's taking that back to his community. You understand what I'm saying? Arab comes over here, gets a 7-Eleven, he's taking that money back to his community. He's a producer. He's selling to us. We are consuming. We are eating, and not producing. This is when they speak of the consumer, all of these newses and all of these programs, they're talking about the African American community. Their whole economy is built off of us. The Most High tells you that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Christ said the kingdom of heaven is at hand, right?
Sure.
Think about it. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. You keep your money in your hand and serve your people with the money in your hand, your community is built. Think about the so-called Jew. Look at what he's doing. He's taking all of the money out of your community and he's building his community. And he produces. He sells you leather. He sells you diamonds. He sees the leader in the movie industry, the record industry. He is producing. We are consuming.
You see, when you get locked up, he's a lawyer too.
And you get locked up, he's your lawyer. And everybody used to always say back in the day, boy, you better get a Jewish lawyer. You understand? You want to get off, get a Jewish lawyer. You know what I mean?
Well, just one more thing. We got some fake Israelites to be, trying to bash the school. And I just want to tell them, look, if you're not in the ISUBK, you on here, shut your mouth and learn. And you ain't in the truth. Come to class and learn how to be a real man.
Come to class, that's it.
Right.
Type it in there, tell them come to class. You want to learn something, come to class.
Right. You want to call in and bash. We
Tell
don't do
them
that.
stop being a type artist, stop being a secretary, and come to class.
Right.
That's all we got to do. Where yet?
In Georgia.
He better go down. He better find a class up in Georgia. Stop talking trash.
Right. You probably can't come in there.
Hey, check this out, right? Our people are the number one consumer. We are the consumer. Every nation is built off of us. You understand what I'm saying? Give me what's Micah chapter 4, verse 11. Got that? Go ahead, read.
Micah 4:11. Now also many nations are gathered against thee.
Think about that, right? Now also many nations are gathered against it. Look at the United Nations, right? We were just talking about that. When things happen to us, right? When things happen to us, and we're talking about on mass. Think about all the murders. Think about all of the mass. Think about everything that has happened to us as a nation of people, right? Who has spoken up for us in those nations? Nobody. The reason why nobody has spoken up for us because all nations are gathered against us. The nation is exactly who we are. You have Jewish scholars telling the so-called Jew, that he's not the real Jew. You understand what I'm saying? But they won't speak up for us. You understand what I'm saying? They resent those so-called Jews for trying to be a black Jew. You understand what I'm saying? That's the reason why they speak up against them. It's not that they like us, it's just that they hate them trying to be us.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, read.
They said, let her be defiled.
They say, let her be defiled. Think about the things that the Chinese man feeds you. Think about the things that the Arab feeds you. Think about the things that they allow you to do. Think about the things that they throw up into your culture or that you follow. That shrimp, that crab, and that lobster. Let them be defiled, because what? They know if we are defiled, what?
We won't rise.
They gonna rise, but they know the Most High is not with us.
Right.
As long as we keep defiling ourselves, as long as you keep following these customs and cultures of another nation, they know that the Most High is not going to be with you. Think about the scripture that says that I don't hear your prayers.
Mm-hmm.
What's that scripture? You know that?
That is.
Say it. Don't worry about it. But you know what scripture I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
The Most High doesn't hear a prayer, and what's that? An abomination. Think about when our people sitting at that Thanksgiving table or that Christmas table praying over that ham. Does the Most High hear that prayer? No. He does not hear that prayer. That's an abomination to the Most High. He does not hear that prayer. He won't hear that prayer.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You celebrating a low holy day, right? Not only that, you praying over something that the Most High tells us not to eat, not to put into our body. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. And think about how many of our people already heard that we're not supposed to be eating pork. I heard that years ago, long time ago. Still ate it though. You understand what I'm saying? Being disobedient. So think about how you know he doesn't hear those prayers. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, read.
And let our eye look upon Zion.
And let our eye look upon Zion. Think about all of the consuming that we do and giving all of these nations our money. And think about how they're building their communities and building everything they need, building their countries off of everything that we give them. $1.3 trillion a year out of the black community alone. Not even our Hispanic brothers and sisters. You understand what I'm saying? That's just the so-called Negro community by itself. They upon Zion. They look. Listen. How do you think that the so-called Jews movie industry was built? His music industry is built. It's all for us. We are the number one consumer. Every nation comes here to feed off of us. Think about it, right? A Chinese man can come from a rice paddy field 2 months ago, 10 times poorer than us, right? And he can get here, and his ass can be on his back because now he knows he's a step above you, or above me, or above us. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's why the Most High tells us we are to separate from them.
Right.
He made us a holy people.
This is one of the scriptures. It's not the one, but this is pretty damn close.
What's that? Read that.
Jeremiah 11 and 14.
Hold on, let me get that. So Jeremiah 11 and 14?
Right.
Go ahead.
Therefore, pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry or prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble.
basically, don't lift up no prayers for them. Don't cry for them. He ain't crying for them. He ain't hearing their prayers. Why? Because they praying for something that he told them not to do. Abomination. When they pray over that pig, when they praying for stuff that the Most High tells you not to do,
Right.
he doesn't hear those prayers. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He doesn't hear those prayers. Let's go to I want to read another article, right? Let's go to got another one. This is the Virginia Slave Code of 1705.
What's it, sir?
This is the Diversity Act of 1705, the Diversity Act of 1705. You got that?
Go ahead.
Yeah. You wrote it down?
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm about to read this. Give me a second. And then you can pull Genesis 34:9. Let me know when you get that. I'll read this right here, though. It says the Virginia Slave Code of 1705 were a series of laws enacted by the colonies of Virginia to Virginia's House of Burgesses regulating activities related to interactions between slaves and citizens of the Crown Colony of Virginia. The enactment of the Slave Code is considered to be the consolidation of slavery in the Virginia and served as a foundation of Virginia's slave legislation, right? These codes effectively embedded the idea of white supremacy into law by the following devices, all right? First device was establish new property rights for slave owners. Then they had allowed the legal free trade of slaves with protections granted by the court. Then it has established separate courts of trial, prohibit blacks, regardless of free status, from owning arms and weapons. You hear that? That's the Slave Code of 1705 that prohibits you from owning a weapon. This means you cannot defend yourself. If somebody comes and breaks into your house and they got a gun, you can't have a gun. That means what? You are at the beck and call of your Caesar. You understand what I'm saying? You are at the beck and call of anybody who breaks into your house. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Then it has whites could not be employed by blacks. So that means if you had any kind of even a small business,
And the white boy working for you?
you could not employ a white person. This is to keep the step that their lowest white person was supposed to be over your highest black person. You understand what I'm saying? This is to keep a line established between black and white, upper and lower, first class and second class. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
It says, allowed for the apprehension of suspected runaways. The law was devised to establish a great level of control over the rising African slave population of Virginia. It also served to socially segregate white colonists from black slaves, making them desperate groups, hindering their ability to unite. They did everything to keep you from uniting with either whites or other blacks, so you could start a revolution or an uprising. And on top of that, they started another law that they had was meritorious manumission, which they started in 1710. Meritorious manumission was a slave law that they started that would basically reward a slave his freedom if he saved the life of a white person, or if he saved the property of a white person from being destroyed, or if he told of an insurrection or uprising of a black group. So if you snitched and it was found out, and it was found out to be true, you would be free. If you saved the property of a white person or the life of a white person, they took it to court to see if you were eligible or if it was worth you being free. You understand what I'm saying? Sure. Now, when you snitched on your people or you told of an uprising, what does that remind you of?
Oh, I'm sorry. Today.
Yeah, today. You ever seen the first 48? And they got somebody sitting in the little room, and they sitting there talking like, look, we'll let you go if you tell us who did it. You understand what I'm saying? They've been doing this to our people for hundreds of years.
I know what I did see, Purple Fruit, one of their leaders. IUIC said, I found out we're going to hire.
Yeah.
But you got to
charge on you or warn turning you into the police.
Real life nation.
That's meritorious manumission. And the thing about it, right? Think about this, right? This is how tore up and destroyed they are. They're not even asking for anything in return. You understand what I'm saying? They turning you in just off of GP. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't being promised nothing. So they so destroyed that they turning people in just for the hell of it. Their own people. How can you turn in your own people like that? So then when you turn in your own people like that, or you say you turning in people like that, you turn them off from any other groups, or you shun them away from finding the truth. You understand what I'm saying? Evidently, if they came to you, they was looking for the truth, right? And this is the reason why all of these groups need to be destroyed. Except for the ISUPK. All of these groups need to come back to the ISUPK. They need to get back in the truth.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the ISUPK is the truth. This is the home of the truth. And we are not affiliated with any other group. You feel me? And that meritorious manumission is maybe one of the just before the emancipation of the slaves in 1865, that had to be one of the strongest tools right there, meritorious manumission, because the dream of every slave was to be free. You understand what I'm saying? Was the dream of most slaves was to be free. You understand what I'm saying? To be free. So they would, if they thought, or a lot of them thought, or some of them thought that they could be free by snitching or telling on their people, they would do it. You understand what I'm saying? Meritorious manumission had to be one of the strongest tools that they had created, besides the Willie Lynch letter and the making of a slave and the destroying of the so-called Negro, pitting Negroes against each other, old and young, light and dark, tall and short, fat and slim. We do that to this day.
Right.
The white man is a fox. He is a snake. He is a serpent. You understand what I'm saying? But what we said, the wolf comes right at you. That fox is indirect. You know what I mean?
Right.
The white man talks about how he wants to be equal. He wants everything to be right. He speaks that in principle, but not in practice. You understand? He speaks it because it sounds good in principle, but when it comes to do it in practice, when it comes time to do it, it's nowhere to be found. You understand what I'm saying? Our people are destroyed, and we have a lot of our brothers and sisters out here that depend on this oppressor. And because they depend so much on this oppressor, the higher that you go, think about this. Baltimore is a predominantly black city. We have a black mayor, black commissioner, black district attorney, black city council, and we have the highest arrest rate in Baltimore City amongst our black brothers and sisters. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have the highest arrest rate. You see that little thing on Facebook the other day when the two white boys beat up the two white police?
Yeah. Yeah.
They was home laughing about it. Not arrested or nothing. That been two brothers, they would have been dead. They would have been showing their bodies full of holes. Or they would have been showing them coming up out the jail all swole up. You understand what I'm saying?
The black cops
This is the reason why we can't trust in their laws. The Most High tells us, what is that? Give me the scripture, trust not thy enemy. Got that?
Hello, talk.
So Malachi 7.
Ecclesiastes 12:10. That's in the Apocrypha.
Good. That's what I said.
Where?
In the book of the Apocrypha, Ecclesiastes 12:10. Never trust thine enemy.
Say it again.
Never trust thine enemy.
One more time.
Never trust thine enemy.
Why shouldn't we trust our enemy? Why shouldn't we trust our enemy?
Because he's enemy.
Because he's your enemy. That should be easy, right?
Trust.
You shouldn't trust your enemy because he is your enemy. You should never trust your enemy. You understand what I'm saying? What does the Indian, North American Indian say about the white man? White man speak with forked tongue. Says one thing, it means something else. What's our scripture again? Psalms 55:21. His words are smoother than butter. But war is in his heart. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead.
For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
But like iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Eventually, iron rusts, right? And eventually, his words are smoother than butter, but eventually, his evilness is going to show through. Like always. And most of the time, it's too late for our brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? By the time his evilness show through, you're already caught up. You know what I mean? We already caught up. Give me Psalm 58:3.
So,
Hold up. Let me grab it.
Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
The wicked are estranged from the womb. This means what?
Born off. They come out the womb off.
Come out the womb wicked. They come out evil. You understand what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
This is what does it say? It says who can make straight what the Most High has made crooked, right? This is speaking of the white man. The white man, the Most High made him evil. And what do? We spend most of our time what? Trying to make them nice, trying to make them good, believing in them. We believe in this evil bastard.
Quick story, like 30 seconds.
Good.
That reminded me of that old story you heard in childhood when a woman found a snake and it was hurting. And she nursed it, and as soon as it got strong enough, it bit her.
Exactly.
She said, "How you gonna bite me? I did all this." He said, "Bitch, you knew I was a snake."
I'm a snake. You know I'm a snake. You understand? You know I'm a snake. That's how it is. You understand? You nurse a snake back to health. What is the snake gonna do? Snake is gonna bite you because a snake do what a snake do. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he does. This is what the oppressor does. The oppressor is estranged from the womb. You understand? Go ahead.
They go astray as soon as they are born.
They go astray as soon as they be born. And look, they come out the womb evil and wicked. You know how we always say, we used to always say, well, they gotta be taught that. They gotta be taught that. No, it's in their DNA to do that. I remember me and Kabar died, right? We was talking, and we both seen the same thing on Facebook, the little white baby that lied to her mama and said a black man did it. You understand what I'm saying? And her mother was laughing about it. You understand what I'm saying? She ain't laughing. She laughing. She should have been angry at the fact that the baby lied, but they wicked from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born. But it was a joke to her because she said a black man did it. You understand what I'm saying? They go astray as soon as they be born. Go ahead, read.
Speaking lies.
Speaking lies. The white baby told a straight lie. And it wasn't coerced to her either. She just did it. Because it's in their DNA to do it. This is in their genetic makeup. This is how the Most High made them. But we are so sympathetic. We are so easygoing. We are so accepting. We are so forgiving that this oppressor can beat and destroy us. We keep forgiving. After this wicked white oppressor killed him, his brother gonna hug her, the judge gonna hug her, mama hug. Man, come on, get up out of here. Who hugged the mama? Somebody hug his mama? No, his mama. Nobody hugged his mama. You understand what I'm saying? But we got so much love and honor for our oppressor that we bypass our home and show more love for our oppressor. Hey, listen, the scriptures say that you're gonna love one and hate the other. You can't love both. You understand? You can't love the
Most High and Mammon.
And the Most High and Mammon, the Most High and money, the Most High in anything. You understand what I'm saying? These people love that oppressor. They love the oppressor so much that they hate their own. We hate our own people, you know?
Yes, sir. See it every day.
Where we at? Go ahead, read.
Psalm 58:4. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Poison is like the poison of a serpent. Once that poison hits you, right? That's a wrap. You are dead. You are dead to your people. You are no good to your people. Once that serpent's poison is in your blood, the only person you are good for is the oppressor because you destroy your own people. You understand what I'm saying? Go ahead, read.
They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear.
The deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. The deaf adder doesn't have ear. So no matter how much screaming and yelling you do, he can't hear you. He gonna do what he do. And what do we say a snake does? A snake bites and kills. And this is one of the most poisonous snakes on the planet. Once that snake hits you, you got a matter of minutes to live. You know what I mean? That snake, his ears are like the ears of a deaf adder. He hears nothing. Think about what's the one in New York that got choked out?
Oh, yeah,
Eric Garner. I can't breathe. White boys couldn't hear because they are snakes. They are serpents. He told them he couldn't breathe, but they choked him out anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Think about the Rodney King beat. Don't you think he was pleading and pleading and pleading? He couldn't hear that. They continued to beat on him. What they beat on him for like 15 straight minutes with batons? Think about it, right? You can't hear. They don't have ears. A deaf adder doesn't have an ear. He can't hear you. So regardless of what you say, he's gonna still destroy you. He's still gonna bite you. He's still gonna put that poison in you. You understand what I'm saying? He can't hear. We got any more on that? Let's go to let's go to Hosea 4. Hosea chapter 4. Verse 6. Got that?
Hosea 4:6. People are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. What is the knowledge?
Law, statutes, and commandments.
Exactly. Law, statutes, and commandments. There is no other knowledge. The only knowledge there is these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what we live by. Our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. If we had the knowledge, we wouldn't get high.
Right.
If we had the knowledge, we wouldn't sell dope and drugs to our people. We wouldn't destroy our own people. We wouldn't kill our own people if we had that knowledge, right?
Right.
We had that knowledge, we wouldn't eat that pork, that shrimp, crab, and that lobster, that stuff that's giving us all kinds of heart diseases and all kinds of ailments. You understand what I'm saying? If we had if we had this knowledge, a lot of these things that we're going through police wouldn't be out here killing us if we had this knowledge.
Right.
You know what I mean? Black politicians wouldn't take advantage of us if we had this knowledge. You know what I mean? Go ahead, read.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
So look at that right there. It says, because thou hast rejected knowledge. When you tell that Christian they're not supposed to eat shrimp, crab, and lobster and that pork, what do they say?
The
Laws are done away with. That's rejecting the knowledge right there, right? That's the rejection of knowledge. We know we're not supposed to eat that shrimp, crab, and that lobster. What's that in Deuteronomy what?
11.
Or
Leviticus.
Leviticus what?
11 chapter.
Leviticus the 11th chapter. Point blank, right? Leviticus the 11th chapter tells you all of that, not to eat that shrimp, crab, and lobster. not to eat that pork. Tells you what to eat, what not to eat. Nothing with everything you can eat that has fins and scales, right? No shellfish, no clams, no oysters. I mean, think about this, right? What does a clam and an oyster do? Filters of the sea. What does the filter do? Takes in water, but what does more than that? What does it do? Take in the dirt, the filth. Think about it, right? When they show that oyster, that pearl in that oyster, what color is that pearl? That pearl is white, right? But then, have you ever seen what the oyster part look like? It's gray. But it's gray from the dirt and the filth in the ocean. And then people slurp and eat that raw.
Sometimes you taste sand.
Yeah, sometimes you taste sand. Because that's what they doing. That's what they sucking in that
sand.
Filth and sand and dirt from the ocean.
And spitting it out, but collecting
Think about all the stuff that dies on the bottom of the ocean. And then you want to eat that. Think about the shrimp and the crab and the lobster. Those are the things that eat the dead stuff on the bottom of the ocean. You understand what I'm saying? They talking about cleaning up the bay, right? How can you clean up the bay when you eating everything out of the bay that cleans up the bay?
Right.
How can you ever clean up the bay if you keep eating everything that's supposed to clean up the bay?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, how people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And then they reject knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? When you tell them, how many people, look how many black people out here eating what's that? Calamari. That's octopus.
Ooh.
Think about it. Ooh. Look how many, I remember 20 years ago, wasn't no black people eating that. Now everybody eats it.
Damn.
You understand what I'm saying? Come on, now. Even when I was in the world, I ain't never eaten no octopus. It ain't nothing you can get me to eat no squid. You understand what I'm saying? Not to mention, they always told us that a squirt is ink out. You ever made a mistake and bit a pen and the ink got in your mouth? That was the worst taste in the world. You think I'm going to do something to actually squirt ink out? Come on, man. You got to be kidding me, man. Come on, now. And then how people following behind this oppressor, following behind the white man, following behind the customs and cultures of this country. We follow right behind them and do everything they do. This is the reason why we are destroyed. You feel me?
Yeah.
And with that, we are the Isupk Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, and I'm about to turn the class over to Priest Officer Natchazal.
Security announcement. We are the Isupk coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jimmy Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be saluted only. They are here to shed their self with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has a particular, interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from their head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months which a brother or sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, a brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, which means 10th in Hebrew. It is pronounced ma'ashara. 10% of any penny, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy events, we got Hanukkah, we got Hanukkah this Friday, which is December the 20th, and check your school for further details. Remind any Akim and Akwathium to check on social media such as isubk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on forth for ISUBK events and material. If a brother wants to become a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which include black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, or scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Many in Israel. Almighty Shabbat. Almighty Barak. Class dismissed.
Hey, boy, at least it ain't stopped this time. I did start it. I did. I just stopped it.